Namo Amida Butsu. In Praise of Master Rennyo Shonen by Gansen John Welch. Master Rennyo's advice is greatly needed and should be diligently heeded by all beings living in this age of Dharma decline, where the light of Amida only faintly shines, due to our closed hearts, minds, and intellects that are utterly unable to detect the truth of Amida Dharma, as taught by Shakyamuni Buddha. What is the remedy that will finally free us all from our crushing karmic burden or weight that our evil thoughts, words, and deeds create? It is Amida's primal vow, as well as faith and total trust in Amida's other power, that inevitably must cause us to be born in Amida's pure land, due entirely to Amida's helping hand. Then our next sacred task is to honestly and sincerely ask a trusted and true teacher how to receive Shinshu, and once taught, immediately begin to read and listen deeply to Amida Dharma, thus taught the lineage masters and Shakyamuni Tathagata. Master Rennyo taught that regular discussions of faith are the purpose, free from all evil repercussions, for members of the Amida Sangha, as faith is the only way to attain birth, either tomorrow or today, in Amida's pure land of bliss and peace that will never cease. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you, Amida Buddha. Homage to Amida Buddha. I take refuge in Amida Buddha. The above verses were inspired by the following passages from the letters of Master Rennyo, Rennyo Shonen Ofumi, Gobanshu. Quote, "In the meantime, priests and lay people, men and women, have flocked here, but as this appears to have no purpose at all, I have prohibited their coming and going as of this year. For to my mind, the fundamental reason for being in this place is that, having received life in the human realm, and having already met with the Buddha Dharma, which is difficult to meet, it is indeed shameful if one falls in vain into hell. Thus, I have reached a judgment that people who are unconcerned about the decisive settling of Nembutsu faith and attainment of birth in the land of utmost bliss should not gather at this place. This is solely because what is fundamental for us is not reputation and personal gain, but simply a concern for enlightenment, or bodhi, in the afterlife. Therefore, let there be no misinterpretation by those who see this or hear about it." End quote. Letter 8, Fascicle 1. Quote, "If you wish to attain faith and entrust yourself to Amida, first realize that human life endures only as long as a dream or an illusion, and that the afterlife in the Pure Land is indeed the blissful result in eternity, that human life means the enjoyment of only 50 to 100 years, and that the afterlife is the matter of the greatest importance. Abandoning your inclination toward all sundry practices and discarding your tendency to avoid certain things, entrust yourself single-heartedly and steadfastly to Amida, and without concerning yourselves with other Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and the various kami, take refuge exclusively in Amida, with the assurance that this coming birth is a certainty. Then, in an outpouring of thankfulness, you should say the Nembutsu and respond in gratitude to Amida Tathagata's benevolence in saving you. This is the frame of mind of resident priests' wives who have attained faith." End quote. Letter 10, Fascicle 1. Quote, "On deep contemplation we realize that the pleasures of human life last only as long as a flash of lightning or the morning dew, a dream or an illusion. Even if we enjoy a life of pomp and glory and can do as we wish, this is only a matter of some 50 to 100 years. If the wind of impermanence were to come even now and summon us, would we not suffer illness of one kind or another and die? And indeed, at the time of death, no part of either the family or the wealth on which we have depended for so long can accompany us. Thus, all alone, we must cross the great river of three currents at the end of the mountain path that we take after death. Let us realize then that what we should earnestly aspire to is birth in the Pure Land in the afterlife, that the one we should rely upon is Amida Tathagata, and that the place to which we go after faith is decisively settled is the Pure Land of serene sustenance. These days, however, the priests in this region who are a Nembutsu people are seriously at variance with the Buddha Dharma. That is, they call followers from whom they receive donations good disciples, and speak of them as people of faith. This is a serious error. Also, the disciples think that if they just bring an abundance of things to the priests, they will be saved by the priest's power, even if their own power is insufficient. This too is an error, and so between the priests and their followers there is not a modicum of understanding of our tradition's faith. This is indeed deplorable. Without a doubt, neither priests nor disciples will be born in the land of utmost bliss. They will fall in vain into hell. Even though we lament this, we cannot lament it deeply enough. Though we grieve, we should grieve more deeply. From now on, therefore, the priests should seek out those who fully know the details of the great faith of other power. Let their faith be decisively settled, and then teach the essentials of that faith to their disciples. Together they will surely attain the birth that is to come in the Pure Land, which is the most important matter. End quote. Letter 11, Fascicle 1. Quote, now what is the purpose of monthly meetings in our sect? Lay people lacking wisdom spend their days and nights in vain. Their lives pass by meaninglessly, and in the end they fall into the three evil paths. The meetings are occasions when, even if only once a month, just those who practice the Nembutsu should at least gather in the meeting place and discuss their own faith and the faith of others. Recently, however, because matters of faith are never discussed in terms of right and wrong, the situation is deplorable beyond words. In conclusion, there must definitely be discussions of faith from now on among those at the meetings, for this is how we are to attain birth in the true and real land of utmost bliss. End quote. Letter 12, Fascicle 1. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.